image crop program that you can download and try below the video. There's no sign up, there's no obligations, and also we're going to do images in bulk, and it does not upload to the clouds. All your information is on your computer. So let's get started with this. The first thing we want to do is follow my cursor. It's over here on the browse button here. We're going to click the browse. I'm going to select the first one here, and I'll just shift click this to select how many I want here. It's going to upload them. I'm going to use my scroll mouse wheel to go down, and you can see here we are in crop all grid. This is the main area that you're going to be using. It works mostly with all the settings on the right. It also has a single preview crop. Okay, I'm going to click here on the left, and it still has these settings. Most of these settings do not work with this. Why I have this here is I will show you. So when you come here, there's going to be a lot of stuff that you can do with your hotkey, or you can move the slider. So to be in this image, I'll just click one time, then I will use my scroll mouse wheel, and if you look to the right there, you'll see the crop slider move. Okay, so we don't really need to use that. As long as we're in here, maybe click once, make sure that we're in here, and then we can move it up and down here. As you can see, if I move my cursor out to the side and use the scroll mouse wheel, I am no longer in the image, so I need to click an image, then we'll do it like this. Also with the arrow keys, you can use it on your keyboard. Follow my cursor. So if I wish to use the keyboard hotkeys, just the arrow keys, and you can go through them. It's got a lot of information down here for the tutorial, and you can read over that. And this is just kind of display, just a visual thing. Really don't need to mess with this area. I'm not going to go over everything, but I'll go over a few things. Now, if we select, as you notice, if I go down a list, I can kind of see them all right here. Okay. Now I'm using my mouse wheel, and I'm going to use a resizable thumbnail. Then if I go down, my list is not long like this. I may like this. Okay, I may want to use this and work in something like this. That way I can just use my mouse wheel like this to scroll through the images instead of having to use the sidebar. I'll switch back over here. Of course, we all know what undo and redo does. Okay, now here's going to be an important tip that you need to follow. There's going to be an option. When you click on something, you'll either click on the image or you'll click on the image name. I'll get to that in a second. It makes a big difference. So if there was an image I wanted to delete, I would click here, then I would be delete selected. Okay, very simple, but if I'm going to show you the reason why. If I select this image, then I come over here and hold the shift key down and click here. Okay, it just selected that image. I want to select all the ones between, so I want to go down here on the text, woman's name. I'm going to click here. Then I'm going to hold the shift key down, and I'm going to click the woman number 5 here. And it's going to select all of them in between. If I want to deselect one, I'll hold the control key and click. And we can flip horizontal like this. Very simple to understand. And another thing that you can do, this is kind of like the prep area where I like to move things around. Let's say I wanted image 3 to be the first one. All you got to do is click it and just drag it over here. You can organize all your stuff how you want them. Maybe all your headshots over here, or all of them that are pointing to the left. I'm not going to get into full detail how I move things around, but that was pretty simple to understand. So with that said, I believe I went over everything in here. So we're going to move on to the next step here. Alright. And if you mess up, let's say you're doing something, see I'm using my scroll mouse wheel, and then when I do it in here, it's still jumping up and down. You need to click in the image, then it'll focus on here. If all your settings are you got them all changed up and you want to get back, all you got to come up here is to reset all settings. A lot of times when you shut down the program and start it, it may keep some of the settings. So what you may want to do is, let me get down here. Let's say for instance we're going to remove all these images, press OK, and we're going to come back to top, and you can either reset all again or refresh the page. Normally if you use the hard reset, which with the control key and the F5 key, it will put everything back at default. Let's load a bunch of these back up. I'm just going to select here. I'm just going to control A. I got a bunch of them right here. The max right here, I believe you're capable of doing, it says 999. The only reason why I put a limit on there, which is quite a lot, that'll help you, because if your computer can't handle that much, it may bog it down. And so once we did all that, we can go into different settings, like the main preview side. These are something that you can just click and mess around with, and you may like it like that. And also we got the export here, information, and if we scroll the way up, we need to come to the top here, and then we got something, just kind of a indication of what's happening. Here's the base UI shade. If you don't like it, it's too bright, and you can move it down, or maybe you like it bright. I tried to give it that glassy look, like you're looking through the glass here. I kind of like the cool look. And if you, like I said, if you mess anything up and you just got kind of out of hand, just press reset all. Okay, very simple. And when you load, you're automatically going to be in crop all grid mode. This is the one is going to be your workhorse. This is where you want to be at. If you don't like the clutter up here, you can close and expand that to clean this up so we get some more headroom. You can also use the zoom on your browser if you want to. Use a scroll mouse wheel and adjust it. Okay, make it fit for your browser. Then we got, let's see, let's close some of this stuff up here, and we'll go down to thumbnail size. These are the thumbnails down here at the bottom. I like it kind of light. I like it kind of large, so because I can either work in this preview mode or I can work all the way down here at the bottom. So I will give you a brief overview of what you can do. I'm using some of the hotkeys instead of grabbing the scroll bar here. I'm using the middle mouse wheel. Let's go ahead and scale this in by a corner. You can select any of the corners here, and you can choose your ratio, whatever you want. Alright, now you can see that I got one preview here, as you can see it right here, updating right there. So if we turn this on here and show all boxes on thumbnails, all the thumbnails have that box. Alright, so if you see it, I am moving basically this one and this one. Okay, they're the same. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to center all these. Okay, I'm going to press the match preview crop on all. So basically what it's saying, everything in this preview here, the main big one, is going to apply to the thumbnail. So if I press this is what happens. But if I move this, you'll notice only one is being moved. I may like that, I may not like that. We'll center that again. So if we want to move them all together at the same time, we can press this. And they all move at the same time. If we select a corner, you can see that it moves, but it's got a limitation where it stops, or when you pull it out, it starts to slide a little bit. We can turn on the freeform corner. That way we'll be able to go in all kinds of directions. And if we ever want to put that back up, we'll just set that 1 to 1. So in the next step here, let's see, we got move all boxes. Alright, now if I move the side here, you can see it's just moving just the one. Undo that. So if we want to move all three sides together, we would put the check mark down here. Now when I pull up and down, they're all going to be the same. Alright, we'll go in the next step. I'll press 1 to 1, make it square. And I'm not going to go over every one of these, but I'll try to do my best. Okay. Let's go ahead and we'll uncheck this one, then we're going to use same crop zoom on the next or clicked image. So when I select that one right there, so anytime that I move this one here, I can apply it to the selected. Alright. So that one was square. So here's another little tip. When you click something, let's say I'm trying to put my cursor on her nose, it was offset. What you want to do is you double click and it will put it right on her nose. You put your cursor exactly where you want it. So we can visually see this all again. We'll center all these and make them all 1 to 1 and match them all. So let's try that again. So let's say I want to click up on her nose up here. As long as there's enough room, or in her mouth, then it's going to put it right there. It's normally a double click that will fix that. I'm trying to get an image here so you can kind of see. Let's see if I can. So if I double click here on her nose, or somewhere in her eyes, then it'll move it there. So it's basically going, I'll have transferring to the next previous click. Just keeping everything. I hope that's understanding. And let's see what else I got here. I believe I went over the horizontal flip and all this stuff here. And like I said, if you select down on here on the name, you can shift click this here. That way you're selecting a name, but you can flip horizontal. Alright, now what I want to do, let's say move all boxes and resize together. Alright. We can select down here. We can actually just move all this out of the way if we don't want it. And we need to select somewhere here on the name. And we'll click here. We'll drag down here. drag it wide. Okay, some of the images I may need to readjust. Okay, let's do them all together. I may have to shut this off so they all don't move together. So I would eventually, like, you know, separately click the name down here, and that way I'm just moving that specific one. Okay, for this instance, we're gonna say I'm done. I'm not gonna, you know, I'm not going through all these to set them up right. Okay, I want to use this for my training. I want to do all full-size images. As example, I'm going to press expand here, and let's name this full body. And when I scroll to the right down here, let's get this down, use the middle mouse wheel, and here we got the rename. Let's name this full body. Alright, now when you look here, you'll notice the top left image of this girl. Remember her? Okay, this is actually the first one right here, number 1. So we're going to use her as a reference. I'll show you here why in a second. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to download this. What's going to happen is it's going to create text files with the word full body. In case you want to do lore training, you can put a woman with a woman full body or whatever you want. So we'll just we're going to go ahead and download this really quick, and when it's done, we'll go to that folder. We got 108 images, which is working fairly fast here. We'll go to the folder here, and I'm going to right click this and extract here, extract all. And remember that image of that lady, how she looked right here. If she's not lined up, normally what you can do is you can right click and you can sort by name. Sometimes you do this twice, or sort by date. That way it will put it right in order. Now if we look at any of these text files, they all say full body. Alright, very handy. If we click the image, and you can see it's pretty large here. So now let's say I want to do, maybe I want to do just headshots or something, okay? Just for instance, okay? So I would come up here. I would probably do 3 to 4 for headshots, something like that maybe. Let's see if we got everything on here, resize all together. Let's try 3 to 4, see if that'll work. Alright, that's a little bit better. We'll do a little bit of headshots here. I'm not going to nitpick and go through all these down there at the bottom. They're going to be off, okay? I need to individually do all these by hand. But I'm not going to do it in the video to bore you, but you can kind of see kind of where I'm getting at. And in a lot of images, you'll have some that are just kind of like always kind of facing to the left. This is why I like the like if you have a bunch of just too many of these, I'm going to go ahead and control click the names down here. Okay, when you're training something, you always don't want something facing always to the left, and we'll just go ahead and flip these horizontal. That way we can have a few facing to the right. We'll just call this headshot. Or let's just call this face. Make it simple. Well, let's try a woman's face. Kind of like in lore training, just something simple. We don't have to match the exact word. This is just the zip file name. We can just name this face if we want to. And we'll come down here see, download zip, and give it a few seconds. Go to the face zip here, and we're going to go ahead and extract all. And then you can see, open up any of these files, a woman's face. This is good for captions. They match the image name with the text files, so when you upload these for captions, these will align together. And you can open one of these up and see what it looks like. Okay, so that's basically how this works, and I believe I kind of went over everything. I may have missed a few things. You sort by A to Z, by order, reverse order. That's something that you're going to have to mess with yourself, but like I said, a lot of this stuff, these arrow keys, they're great to have, but you know, especially for this one here, when you click in here, I just prefer using a scroll mouse wheel on my mouse rather than just using the one over on the right. Okay, you can use it if you don't feel comfortable with it, but I like it here. I do like my thumbnails a lot larger. You may not like to work in this workspace at the top, looking at the bottom, and if you just want to come down here and work with all these together, then you can do that. So far I have not believe I found any more bugs. I found quite a few of them, and like I said, always make sure that if something screws up, press reset all, and that one put everything back to default. And the undo does not work with that, so keep that in mind, and you'll get the hang of it. Some of these settings are just visual, and you may not be able to adjust anything, so don't worry about these. There's some of them are just visual, so keep that in mind. But some of these are my favorite ones. I like to show all. And I also like to have a few of these options. Actually, I like most of these options on. And I also, my main button I like is I like to center them all right here. And this match preview crop to all. That means whatever's in the preview, what you see is what you get down here in the thumbnail. And I really like that. So we'll click in here. And we can move them here, down in the thumbnail, like I said, or click up here and you can move them all. And like I said, it depends where your cursor's at, so if you're in here where your cursor's at and you move your mouse wheel, it'll do this. If you move your cursor outside the image, it'll scroll down. That's kind of how it's supposed to be designed. Like I said, if things don't match up, it's the double click, okay? Because the first click may not get it. Well, let's say I'll move it down here, and I want to get somewhere here to make it pinpoint where the circle meets your hand. Just double click, and you can see it matched right where my hand's at in image 47. But anyway, it's free. You can download it. It don't cost you nothing. All these images are on your computer. It doesn't go to a server, and I hope you enjoy it. And I will be monitoring this video for maybe 2 days. I'm not gonna if you have any bugs, but I'll check back in and out. So if you have an issue, just make a comment, and I'll see if I can fix it. But I believe everything's fixed, and I may take some suggestions where you think this could be better. But that won't be implanted till later. I think I got it pretty good. Now this is all HTML. This is not any kind of AI software that you got to download. This is just an HTML file. What you'll do is I'll have a link, and you'll click it, and it'll be in a zip file, and you open it up, and it's basically going to be let's see here, it's going to be this HTML file right here. Okay, right here. This is local crop recorder 87, and like I said, I might change version. And once you extract it from the zip file, just double click it, open it up, and voila, there you go.